Okay, next we're going to be working with the Ranger Vintage Patinas, and they come in sets of 3 like this. These aren't in your kit, but I'll show you how you do this, and they're just so great on your metal. You can actually get them, there's about 15 blendable colours, and there's 5 kits with 3 colours in each one, and they're very fast drying, and they kind of go to a satin finish. I really can't describe the finish, it's hard to actually show you on the video, but they're really lovely. So you can see where I've done one here, and I've used this Victorian Gable palette. So I'll just choose one of these other palettes and show you how to apply that. These need to be shaken up. Again, unfortunately I can't get my brush inside these ones to stir them up, so I have to shake them up. When I'm doing this, I kind of like to get the paint similar. Like on the side it was a little dark, it's a little bit of light green up there, just so that it mirrors the other side. Doesn't have to be exact, but just a little bit of mirroring looks really nice, as a butterfly usually is pretty perfect. You know, this one I've done on that reverse side so that I've been able to put the highlights in the embossed part of here. This one, it's the opposite, so the high points are having a bit of detail. And on this one, if I was using this as a metal paint as such on jewellery, and I wanted it to be very strong, I wouldn't put archival ink over it, but in this case, once it's dried, I'll probably put archival ink over the top. Not that it won't be strong, it's just that when you wear jewellery and you have it next to your body, acids and that come out, and I wouldn't want any of the archival to wear. I don't know that it would, but it's just my thought processes think that it might not work. I'd have to experiment to be able to tell you whether that would be, but I'm more likely to bring over a little archival ink just to give this highlights, or sand it a little. We'll try both. We'll try it, see what happens. These have metallic colours too, so I kind of wouldn't mind seeing if I can, what I can do with a little bit of antique copper on there. See, we've got these verdigris colours going on. This could be a disaster, or it could be fun. But I can't go around telling you girls to be brave when I won't even play with my things. But I have to admit, it's never been a problem with me to play with ink and paint and just enjoy it. If you mix this in, it's going to give you some darker accents. If you just leave it sitting on top, like so, it's going to be very bright. I like the way that one is. Now this one's a bit dry. I can't decide whether I like it or not. So when I can't decide whether I like something or not, I'm going to bring in archival ink and I'm going to do a bit of sanding. And if that doesn't work, I am going to put some more paint over the top. So this is coffee in the archival. Make sure it's dry, otherwise it'll wreck your pad. So I'd like that a lot better. Maybe because I can't resist it, a little black. And I'm liking that metal paint. So you can see some very different looks coming out here. A little bit longer for this one to dry and we'll finish that one off. So with this one, it's very dark. So I think I'm going to do a bit of sanding. I don't think it's really dry yet, so this could be a disaster, but we'll see. Now this metal, this is a snow block, and you'll see that with the metal paints, very hard to get off, not like your alcohol inks which will just go over the top. You're going to take a bit more effort. This is the metal sealer and patina extender that you can get to go with your metal paints. It just means that you can water the paints down a little using this extender, and not and it'll still be strong and great to apply. But I'm just going to use it to highlight this and make it quite strong in there, so it'll bring out the colours more. Kind of like how that looks. You can see how it looks when it's in the reverse. Using similar colours, but I've just taken advantage of the metal underneath with this one, where I've used the paint to do the colouring of that one. And this one I've just played around with and put some of the archival ink over the top. Might put some glaze on this one as well. And of course this metal is easy to shape up and create really cool shapes. You could still go in and at this stage, because it's sealed, you could use your Perfect Pearls sprays and your Glimmer Glams, if that's the look that you are after, that will sit on top of this and dry with the mica powders. You could still go in there and bling it. You'll have bling in your kits, which you can use anywhere. Just pop it over your work. It's just random bits of bling that I've put in there, just so that you can get an idea of what you can do to shape onto your butterflies. So that's the metal ones. Lots of fun, and there are lots of colourways that you can use and change, plus all the metal ones that you can get with the metal paint. Remember, it's very, very strong. That's the important thing. Very strong, very thick, really neat to merge and combine, and gives you some fun effects. Okay, let's play with our Viva Decor Ink Gold. It is water soluble wax, so if you have one that has gone hard, pop some water in there and mix it up again, and it'll mix up again. Often these little trial size go quite dry because you can't seal them very well. Okay, so these ones are all made out of the Viva Decor. From the previous videos you'll see different techniques in there. Some of them have got a bit of glossy accents on it. On this one you can really see where I've done that stamping over the top to give it just a dot effect on there, to give it some dimension, glossy accents over the top. That they can be very pretty, they can be very, you can make them just look like metal if you want. So there's a lot of ways to make these. This one is using that reverse side as opposed to the same way as Tim Holtz usually has it, which is with it embossing up. Okay, I use a brush, a fat brush for my Ink Gold. I just like it. I like it better sticking my fingers in there, and you'll find that you can apply it well. If you don't like cleaning up your mat, you can always put a little paper towel under there and then just start applying it. With that, we've just applied one coat of, which colour have we used? We've used the brown gold and just put it over. I haven't worried about getting it into every little crack and crevice, which I could do, or I could even water it down with a bit of moisture or spray a bit of mist over there so that it would go down into those places. I haven't, because I'm going to bring other colours over the top. What colour shall I try? This is the orange. And yes, I'm naughty. And I just, because I'm going to be blending these colours, I don't think about it much, and I just use the same brush, which is naughty. This is a case in point. This is a little not as moist as I'd like it, so I'm just going to put some water in there, work that up. When you work this up, when you've got putting moisture in, you've got to be aware that you're going to get a bubble effect if you don't do it correctly. It's going to just have little water bubbles in your work. I never worry about that too much. I quite like, I'm not wanting a smooth effect here. So you see how it does combine with the brown, but it still sits on top. And if I'd let the first layer dry, it would sit on top even more strongly. In these cases where you're doing these paper ones, I'd turn over and I'd moisten my and just get rid of my excess on the back here, rather than waste it. So this is looking very brown and very boring. Let's see what else we can bring in there. Try even lighter colour. What's happening here, it's just coming in over the top lightening everything up. And you just dump it where you want it and play with it and layer it. That's just, you see me do this all the time. I just play around with it until I like it. Remember, it's got to be appealing to you, not everybody else. Okay, we have that there. Take that excess off on this back part. This way you get to decide which side you want when you're finished. Why don't we bring in a bit of this blue, just because. Oh, it looks like we've got another hard one. Now, when you combine the two, you can get this nice turquoisey colour. I prefer to use brushes in these, but on these little troll size ones I don't mind getting my finger in there. I might try, I think there's another blue here. It's gold. It's dark blue. Again, naughty. Putting the colours together. Working it up, see what I like. And when you want real detail, something you want, you get a bit of water, mix it in there, and you're just making a paint really. And if you wanted to, say, bring some of this blue down around here, you can. And when it dries, it'll look a little bit darker while it's wet, but it'll just turn similar to those colours that you've already got there. I don't particularly like that, so I'm taking it out. Make it light just like that. But you can get definite brush strokes in there. You can bring it, it helps when it's wet, when you want to edge your work as well. Again, you can use your sprays over top of this, your Perfect Pearl sprays. You can use your glazes over this if you so wish. And it looks fabulous when you put glossy accents to highlight areas. You can stamp on it. Just wait, give it a little bit of time to dry. Even though it's a wax, I kind of like to give it a little bit. And after 12 hours, I like to, you can actually buff it up and have it quite shiny, which is fun. Okay, so we kind of got some effects going there. You can keep on going. You could put some pink in there perhaps, if you're a pink girl. This is a magenta colour. There's a sort of mauve, it kind of looks cool. Let's try some of that. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that because I want to put some highlights over the top of that one. And let's go and do another one. Still a little flat at this stage, but we need to bring in, we'll bring in more details with some, either some stamping, some glossy accents. I keep a really old archival pad to do some of these ones that I know they're going to come off onto my pad, and it's a wax, so what happens if you try and use your good pad on this, you'll get wax in here which will stop you from making good impressions when you're doing your stamping. So let's see, this is just using a black. Again, you've got oil based ink, so you've got to, and it'll react with that wax, so you've got a little bit of time to play and give a bit of a smudge here and there. Different looks if you leave them plain to when you put archival on. And of course you don't have to use black, you can use any archival colour. Archival is in brand name Archival. Ranger Archival. Lots of inks can be archival inks, but this is the good one as far as I'm concerned. You see how you're starting to get all those beautiful qualities in there that once you bring over some glossy accents, and that'll all show out. This one, where I've actually physically gone in and painted a little bit of the tops of those, that's a really cool look to have as well. I would now, I personally would really prefer this type of look where you can see the definite marks in it from stamping with a dotted stamp. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to use some cobalt blue on this one just for a change. It's a dark enough colour to show up. The effect you're going to get when you do this, it's actually going to sink down a little into the wax. I find, I don't know why, but it just does. You see the difference there between the one that I have stamped along the side and not stamped on it. I kind of like this motley effect. I would then put some glossy accents on them, highlighting the areas that I wanted to highlight. Here are all our Viva Decor butterflies. In your pack also you will have found a butterfly that I've put texture paste on. Now texture pastes and modelling creams is something I'm doing in another video. But for the purpose of this kit, if you've got a rough surface there, I want you to just give it a light sand, and then you can decide how you'd like to proceed to put product on there. The texture paste will resist. It's the Ranger texture paste, but it also take all your inks really nicely, and because it's white it'll give a beautiful reflect. So have fun playing with that. You'll find cards in there, or a card, watercolour, Tim Holtz watercolour card, and manila tag that you can do whatever you like with. But I encourage you to do things like take some of those products that you have, and this is just your Glimmer Glam, scatter it around onto card and use your inks and sprays to make that resist. At the moment that's just got the glam on it, and these in the background's ready to be coloured in any way you like. In your packs you'll find that if you make little backgrounds like this, you'll find that they'll complement beautifully the colours of your butterflies that you put over top of them if you happen to want to make this into a card. I put the manila tag in there so that you can look at the difference when you put your products onto manila. It gives a slightly different reflect, but something to play with. We haven't even covered the things that you can do with these butterflies, and dragonflies. I've shown you how to make all these things, but how many butterflies do you need? Well, actually you need heaps, because I've got lots of cool ideas on how you can use them from in your mini albums. We haven't even touched on backgrounds. This is just a little resist background I've made where I've put some of the products you've got in your kit through stencils and masks, and you create a little background, and then you can place it on your card. I buy mostly longer cards like these and then just chop them to the size I want and place them on there. Other videos, this one's got epic, got long. Other videos I'll show you how you can use your perfect pearls and your alcohol inks on things like these white candles, and then place metal butterflies. Metal is the best one to use. Obviously when your candle's burning down you don't want it to burst into flames or anything like that, but I have been known to wrap them in paper ones as well. So you can do so many things with these products. The perfect pearls on top of candles look great, and it goes on. You can do all sorts of shapes and wonderful things in there. So there's so many things that you can do with these and your dragonflies. I want you to, I'll probably put out a little video, not part of the class, but just to show you some of these things that I've done with all these butterflies. This first series of classes is going to be public. They won't all be public, and we're also considering doing these classes and putting them onto sticks so that we can send them to you. I know it hasn't been professional. I know there's been times when I've been off the screen a little. I know our lighting isn't perfect, but we will get there. And I've thoroughly enjoyed doing it, and I hope you enjoyed spending the time with me to do these techniques. I'd love to see what you've made, and I'm going to make a special section in our galleries at Art of Craft where you can post what you have made, and I'll put up in that gallery. If you could send it to me just by email, the images, that would be great. If you don't want your name published, please let me know. Please remember, it's not about the butterfly, it's about all the techniques you use to make these fun images. So thank you for joining me. I've had fun making all these. I've got a ton of butterflies, and I'll catch you next time with the next tutorial.